Hey guys, hope you're all having an awesome day. Went in today and I did the Savage Gains shoulder and bicep workout, which was absolutely amazing. It was a really good workout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My favorite was doing I'm going to post a video. Actually, I'm just going to kind of put one together here. I've got a ton of things to do tonight, but I'm going to post a video. My GoPro died as I was doing, finished my shoulders, and then before I did the biceps, which is like the glory exercise, and that's like where you get the really good pump. My GoPro died. Go figure. So I just kind of got the shoulder ones in, but I'm gonna post a little video of the shoulder workout today, which I thought I mean I'm kind of biased because I made it, but I thought it was really good. I got a really good pump, particularly with the bicep exercises on the bench with the cable, and it's like a spider curl with a cable, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, so I hope you guys did too. But I'm just eating a little bit of dinner. I'm gonna show off my dinner here. There's zucchini noodles that Senya made with a spiralizer, and we've got some extra lean ground beef on top with some onion and some stuff, and it's absolutely freaking amazing. But I've got 1,000 things to do tonight, so I wanted to make sure that I did a video, and I wanted to talk about. I have this like weird habit of crawling through like academic research articles because I think they're interesting. I think the one thing to kind of keep in mind is that when you're doing that, um, there's new studies that come out every day. Like we think we know everything about everything. We don't know anything about anything. Like I just read something, which is no surprise to me, that eggs aren't bad for cardiovascular health. Like they've always kind of been touted. Like you eat too many eggs, you're gonna have a heart attack. And what they're finding is that's simply not true, and that saturated fat is not the evil that we thought it was before, which is like surprise, surprise, right? There's always like a new thing. There's always something new that is. Sorry, I just did that. There's always a new thing that's coming out that's like this is bad, that is bad, which is why you've always got to be wary of people who kind of tell you like their method is the only method. There's just so much research out there, and it's fitness and science and physiology is just always evolving. It's always changing. So um, anyway, I dug up an article today which I thought was pretty cool that I want to talk about, but I just wanted to elaborate a little bit on yesterday's video. Yesterday, for anybody who caught it, I talked about how my journey in fitness has kind of like allowed me to break down some barriers of insecurity. Still extremely insecure, probably always will be. Most humans are, um, but it's allowed me. It's for me. It's more than a physical thing, and it's more than looking good. Like I like to look good because when I feel like I look good, I feel like I have more confidence, and when I have more confidence, I'm less of a jerk because I have less insecurities, and I worry less about what other people think. So I'm able to be kind of a truer version of myself, which is one of the reasons why I'm like so addicted to fitness, because I'm not like I'm a perfect person. I'm far from perfect, but allowing myself to be in shape makes me care less about all the white noise and the opinions of other people that you shouldn't care about. There's certain people's opinions that you should care about, like family and friends, and of course, you guys and clients and whatever else. But just the better that I feel that I look, the more confidence I have to be a truer version of myself, which means I'm less susceptible to negativity, and I'm less susceptible to my own insecurities too. But not only that, I also wanted to mention too that the work that eating properly and working out properly isn't about even how we like think, feel, or act today. It's also setting yourself up for the future. As I said, I do spend a lot of time browsing academic articles because I think they're interesting, and it's laughable the way things are constantly evolving and constantly changing. Because one day, like, this is carbs are the evil, they're the enemy, and then tomorrow, complex carbohydrates are actually extremely efficient for. It's funny, things change all the time, and you got to just kind of do your best to stay on top of it. And you have to adopt a humble attitude. Anybody who tells you this is the way it is because that's how it is because I read an article should have more of an open mind. You know what I mean? Because things are always changing, and science is fluid, and that's a beautiful thing about science. And we know nothing about anything, so you just kind of do your best to stay on top of things, and it's something that I enjoy doing in my spare time. But I wanted to talk about one article today. Oh man, I can't believe I just did that. All right, I'm jumping back. I'm jumping back. Anyway, the work that you're doing today is going to determine the future, and that's one thing. That's one way to kind of keep yourself motivated. You're not working out today just to look good, so you can feel good, so you can act good, so you can have lots of energy. What you eat today and the exercise that you do with your body today is also a gateway to what you're going to be doing when you're 75. And I know sometimes like hindsight is 50-50, but honestly, like everything that I've read recently in science and in some of these academic articles indicates that the amount of exercise that you're doing today is going to be directly proportional to your health as you're older. And that's, of course, common logic. But everything from the prevention of Alzheimer's to determining your mental faculties, to determining your susceptibility to disease, particularly cancer and heart disease and all those kind of things, are really the work that you're putting in today is going to determine whether or not you're in a wheelchair when you're 75, or whether you're out in the garden throwing around the football with the kids and knocking them over. You know what I mean? The work that we do today determines our quality of life and how long we're going to live, and our genetics are very genetic base. You know what I mean? You literally are what you eat, because our cells are constantly changing and they're constantly moving and they're constantly developing. And if you're eating well, that's going to fuel positive change, and that's going to fuel positive development on a cellular level. But not only that, it's also going to fuel, like, do you want to live a long, healthy life? Do you want to be cognizant of the world around you? And I'm not saying exercise is going to prevent everything, because unfortunately there are certain diseases that are indiscriminate, and sometimes they're indiscriminate, period. And it doesn't matter how hard you work out. But what science is kind of indicating is that you stand a much better chance of being in better health, better mental faculty, with a better liver, a better heart, better circulation, stronger bones, stronger everything as you grow older. So the work that we're putting in today it is about how we feel today, and it's about, because we feel like we look good, we can act good, and we have more confidence, and we care less about the negativity, and we're able to be a truer version of ourselves. But not only that, it's a large determinant in how your future is going to be, and the quality of life that you're going to live when you're older. And if that's not enough to motivate you, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? And I know you guys are all motivated as all hell, but that's just kind of my like friendly thought for the day, just something to think about. It's, it is about what we're doing right now, and it is about our mental state right now, but it's also about our mental state in 30 years, and the kind of life that you want to live when you're older. So put in the work now, and your body will take care of you later. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about something I pulled up today, which I thought was pretty cool, right? New study that came out talking about lactic acid. And anybody who knows lactic acid is something that flows into your muscles when they're sore. And for so long, science has been focusing on getting rid of that lactic acid. And there's been a strange scientific revelation about lactic acid. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I think a lot of you guys have probably heard of lactic acid before, right? And people thought that essentially that was the kind of thing that stops you. That's the kind of thing that stops and slows down your muscles. Well, here's what the latest is. And I'm going to say the latest because tomorrow it could be different. But the latest is, and I'm going to kind of review this article, and then I'm going to post a copy of it below, just for something, maybe it's just something you're interested in. Maybe it's not. But previously, lactate is not a poison. It's an antidote. So what they're finding out is essentially, and what this I'm going to give you kind of the Coles notes of the article, is that it was typically labeled a waste product, right? So your muscle produces lactic acid, and that's what kind of slows you down. And the less lactic acid that you had in your muscles, the longer you could work. But what they're actually starting to find out, published in a study that was done at University of California and published in the Journal of Cell Metabolism, is that lactic acid is actually it's your body's response. It's a recovery response, and and lactic acid is actually responsible for it rushes in there to stave off like metabolic damage and damage to your muscles in itself. So lactic acid isn't this thing that stops your muscles from working. Lactic acid is the thing that rushes in there to make sure your muscles don't get hurt or don't overexert, or it's just really interesting because they're actually using lactic acid in a new way to prevent disease. Now I'm going to give you that Coles notes of this. I'll post it below, but I just thought it was kind of an interesting new look at the way that we see lactic acid, right? So Coles notes, gradually physiologists, nutritionists, clinicians, and sports medicine practitioners are beginning to realize that high lactic acid seen in the blood during illness or injury, such as severe head trauma, are not a problem to get rid of, but in contrast, a key part of the body's repair process that needs to be bolstered. So after injury, or even a good workout, adrenaline will activate the sympathetic nervous system that will give rise to lactic production. So it's like gassing up the car before a race. Now, without that fuel, the body would not have enough energy to repair itself. So over the course of decades of research, Brooks has discovered there's at least 3 uses of lactate in the body. It's a major fuel source. It's a major material to support blood sugar level, and it's a powerful signal for metabolic adaptation to stress. So I thought that was kind of a new look at lactic acid, right? Lactic acid is bad, and you got to flush the muscles of lactic acid. Well, if you did that, your muscles probably wouldn't repair. So it's just kind of a new look at lactic acid. And glucose, so just another couple of, the body breaks down glycogen into lactic acid and glucose and adipose fat into fatty acids, all of which are distributed through the body, through the bloodstream as a general fuel. However, his colleagues have shown that lactate is actually the major fuel source. So just kind of skimming through this. So for decades, they believed that in the cells, glucose degraded the lactic precursor substance called pyruvate. Turned out to be wrong. Blah, 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 lots of scientific stuff. Lactic is the body's visa. So basically, what they're trying to say is that lactic acid is not a bad thing. It's actually, lactic acid actually helps repair the muscle. It's there during trauma and during stress. And they're actually finding ways to boost lactic acid post head trauma and post injury inside of somebody's body to make sure that you're able to recover. So I just thought that was kind of a cool thing, and it just kind of speaks to my point about every day science changes. We find out something new. So the only way to really kind of continue your journey and your fitness journey is to read. Read as much as you can. Take an interest in this kind of stuff. And anybody who claims to be a guru or claims to know it all and that their methods are correct and everybody else is crap needs to give their head a shake, because things change daily, and you've got to be open to those changes. You know what I mean? They thought the world was flat for a long time. Turns out the world isn't flat. And the most important thing for myself as a trainer that I find is just to be fluid and to check the ego at the door, and to give other consideration for other methods, and to be open to change. I never say anything definitively in this industry. I just say this has been what I've learned, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm definitely a student of fitness. Like I'm interested in this stuff. If I could do my life different, I would have gone back and I would have been an endocrinologist and an exercise physiologist, and I would have studied the effect of hormones on the human condition, and in sports and in science, because I just find that stuff super, super intriguing. And the only way to really stay on top of this stuff and to grow is to take an active interest yourself. You know what I mean? And research and check things out and see what's changing, and keep an open mind and stay humble, because things change all the time. And if you're not adaptable to that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Because as I said, they thought the world was flat for a long time. The world ain't flat. So that's my little rant for today. Lactic acid is not a bad thing. It actually helps in recovery of the muscles. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was intriguing. I'm going to go back to my work. I've got to do another meal plan, and I'm still working on the new Savage and Six site, which is going to be up soon. We're launching it, and I don't want to say, but we might have we have something new kind of coming up, which is kind of an interesting option, but I won't talk about that because I want to make sure that Senya and I kind of talk about that together. But I hope you guys all had an amazing day, and hope life is good, man. Hope everything's okay. Hope you guys are happy. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you're being nice out there. I'm trying. Just remember that anybody out there who's mean to you, or anybody out there who says something negative about you or whatever else, or is curt or is snappy with you, is a reality and a reflection of kind of what's going on in their life and what's going on in their head. And everybody has bad days, everybody has good days, but at the end of the day, you just have to do your own thing and learn to love yourself and have some fun, and just remember that life can be challenging, and people aren't born shitty. Shitty things happen to them, and they become shitty, and they become attackists. And that when other people attack, and I'm not, this isn't referring to anything. This is no like passive aggressive, weird, whatever. This is just some like life philosophy to top off this weird rant. That when people attack you or people lash out at you, it's a reflection of what's going on in them. And if people are just inherently mean and inherently vicious, and and enjoy drama and stuff like that, then it's a shame for them because they're probably not in a good place, and it's a reflection of some of the things that have happened to them in their life. So try to be as nice as you can to them, I guess. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. I hope you're all having an amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon. I hope things are good. Take care. Ciao.